The picturesque landscapes of the English countryside have long served as the backdrop for some of the most significant chapters in royal history. This weekend, all eyes turn once again to the rolling hills of the Cotswolds, where an atmosphere of quiet anticipation and meticulous preparation has taken hold. Beneath the overcast skies and intermittent summer rain, a dedicated group of artisans, florists and coordinators is working tirelessly behind the scenes. Large stone urns, massive bundles of green foliage and carefully curated botanical arrangements are being moved into position. There is a distinct sense of purpose in the air, a quiet gravity that accompanies events of truly profound importance. Something extraordinary is taking shape within the stone walls of a historic village church, and the unfolding scene carries the undeniable weight of tradition mixed with a modern, understated elegance. For those who follow the intricate tapestry of the British royal lineage, these moments of preparation represent the calm before a highly anticipated gathering. If you find yourself captivated by these glimpses behind the palace walls and want to stay informed about every unfolding detail, take a quick moment to subscribe and join our community for regular updates on the stories that shape our world. The focus of this intense activity is All Saints' Church, an ancient and beautiful sanctuary nestled in the heart of Gloucestershire. The historic structure, with its weathered stone and deep-rooted connection to the local community, is being transformed for an occasion that insiders describe as both deeply intimate and profoundly significant. This coming Saturday, June 6th, the church will host a ceremony that beautifully bridges two very different worlds. It is an event that highlights the enduring nature of family bonds while charting a fresh, independent path forward. The preparations themselves provide the very first indicators of what the atmosphere will be like on the big day. Observers have noted a distinct departure from the grand, towering floral displays that traditionally define such high-profile occasions. Instead, the focus seems to be on a minimalist, all-foliage design. Heavy emphasis is being placed on natural greenery, local ferns and structured branches, creating an aesthetic that feels organic, grounded and deeply personal. It is a visual choice that speaks volumes about the couple at the center of the upcoming celebration, reflecting a desire for simplicity, authenticity, and a connection to the landscape they both hold dear. Managing an event of this magnitude requires an extraordinary level of expertise, and the orchestration has been entrusted to Bentley's Entertainments. This premier corporate entity is renowned for executing some of the most high-profile and culturally significant celebrations of the past few decades. Their impressive portfolio includes managing the iconic wedding of David and Victoria Beckham, organizing numerous exclusive events for Sir Elton John, and coordinating the magnificent Windsor wedding of Princess Eugenie to Jack Brooksbank. Interestingly, this is not the first time the firm has worked with this specific branch of the family, as they also oversaw the groom's previous nuptials back in 2008. Their involvement guarantees that despite the private and intimate scale of the ceremony, every detail will be executed with absolute perfection. The presence of such high-caliber event planners underscores the true significance of the weekend, signaling that while the gathering may be smaller than the grand state occasions of London, it remains a milestone of immense importance to those involved, as the final touches are put in place. The guest list itself reveals a fascinating picture of current family dynamics and shifting relationships. Almost the entirety of the immediate family is expected to gather in Gloucestershire to show their support and celebrate this new chapter. The congregation will include King Charles and Queen Camilla, alongside the groom's mother, Princess Anne, and Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence. The Prince and Princess of Wales are also expected to grace the ceremony, along with Prince Edward and Sophie, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh. This impressive gathering of senior figures emphasizes the deep affection and respect held for the groom within the family circle. However, the event also highlights notable absences that have caught the attention of observers. Both Prince Harry and Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor are completely absent from the guest list. Friends close to the family have quietly indicated that the Duke of Sussex and his cousin have simply lost touch over the years, having not spoken for a considerable amount of time. This quiet omission stands in stark contrast to the past, reminding onlookers of how much has changed within the family structure over the last 2 decades, even as a new and joyful milestone is reached on the historic grounds of the Cotswolds. The upcoming ceremony in Gloucestershire represents much more than a simple gathering of notable figures. It serves as a powerful symbol of stability, acceptance, and renewal for a family that has weathered intense public scrutiny over the decades. At 48 years old, Peter Phillips, the eldest grandson of the late Queen Elizabeth II, is preparing to step into a bright new future alongside his 45-year-old fiancée, Harriet Sperling. The couple officially announced their engagement in August of last year, just a few months after their relationship first became public knowledge in May of 2024. Their joint announcement was met with genuine warmth, with both families releasing statements expressing that they were absolutely delighted by the news. Unlike many high-profile unions that are planned years in advance, this celebration carries a mature, grounded energy, reflecting the life experiences of 2 individuals who have navigated their own separate paths through adulthood before finding profound happiness together. For Peter Phillips, who occupies the 19th position in the line of succession to the British throne, this weekend is an opportunity to celebrate love on his own terms. Surrounded by those who matter most, Harriet Sperling herself brings a fascinating and deeply respected background to this union. As a dedicated healthcare professional working within the National Health Service, her life has been defined by service, resilience, and a commitment to helping others. She is also a devoted mother to her 13-year-old daughter, Georgina, from her first marriage. While Harriet has spent much of her professional life outside the traditional spotlight, she is certainly no stranger to circles of high standing. Through her late father, Rupert Sperling, she possesses wealthy connections and shares an ancestral relation to the Duke of Gloucester, ensuring a natural familiarity with the traditions and expectations that accompany an association with the royal lineage. Over the past year, Harriet has transitioned smoothly into this highly demanding world, becoming a familiar, warmly received, and genuinely appreciated face during major family gatherings. A particularly poignant example of this acceptance occurred last summer at Royal Ascot, where she was observed sharing warm conversation and laughter alongside King Charles during the official carriage procession. This prominent public appearance was widely interpreted by experts as a powerful, unambiguous signal of how completely she has been embraced by the monarch and the wider family circle. When Peter Phillips chose to propose to Harriet, he did so with a magnificent engagement ring that carried a subtle, deeply touching tribute to his beloved grandmother, the late Queen Elizabeth II. The sparkling piece was intentionally commissioned from the exact same prestigious jewelry house that designed the late Queen's iconic 1946 engagement ring. This deeply personal detail beautifully connects the memory of the legendary monarch to this new chapter of family life, illustrating that while the ceremony itself is highly contemporary and forward-looking, it remains anchored by an enduring respect for ancestral heritage. Following the intimate church service, the celebration is set to move to Gatcombe Park, the stunning estate of Princess Anne, where the groom's family will host a private reception. This choice of venue adds another layer of deep personal significance to the day, as Gatcombe Park is the very area where Peter and his sister Zara Tyndall grew up. It is a landscape filled with childhood memories, providing a secure, private sanctuary where close friends, immediate family, and loved ones can toast to the couple's future happiness completely away from the prying eyes of the public, for seasoned observers of the institution. There is absolutely no doubt that this weekend's festivities will look and feel vastly different from Peter Phillips' previous wedding, which took place nearly 2 decades ago. Back in May of 2008, his marriage to Autumn Kelly at Windsor's St. George's Chapel was an immense, high-profile state event that ultimately left senior members of the household deeply bewildered and uncomfortable. On that occasion, 300 prominent guests gathered in the historic chapel, including 70 members of the bride's extended family from Canada, alongside a young Kate Middleton, who was making one of her very first significant appearances at a major family function. While the day itself was initially celebrated as a triumph, it is unfortunately remembered today for a highly controversial commercial agreement that the newlyweds signed with Hello magazine. In exchange for exclusive photography rights inside the sacred chapel and during the private reception at Frogmore House, the publication reportedly paid a massive £500,000 fee. Presenting it as a wedding gift to the young couple, the resulting media coverage was an unprecedented 100-page exclusive feature that showcased remarkably candid, unedited snapshots of the private lives of the world's most famous dynasty. The pages were filled with images of senior royals laughing in casual settings and included a highly publicized photograph of Prince Harry giving his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, an affectionate kiss on the cheek. These casual, unmanaged pictures were a massive, shocking departure from the traditionally controlled, formal imagery that the palace always released to the public. The spread was exceptionally poorly received within the palace walls, leaving senior figures, including the late Queen herself, completely blindsided and deeply upset by the unexpected publication of their private moments. In the immediate aftermath, Buckingham Palace was forced to issue a rare, formal statement describing the commercial arrangement as a serious error of judgment. The controversy quickly expanded beyond court circles, drawing sharp criticism from prominent politicians who publicly noted that the British populace would be genuinely shocked to see their reigning monarch featured in the pages of a commercial celebrity magazine. Although Peter and Autumn went on to welcome 2 beautiful daughters, Savannah and Isla, before separating in 2019 and finalizing their divorce in 2021. The lingering memory of that media storm has fundamentally shaped how this weekend's event is being approached. 17 years later, the contrast could not be more striking, as the lessons of the past guide a return to absolute privacy, dignity, and authentic celebration. This return to privacy and dignified simplicity is precisely what makes the union of Peter Phillips and Harriet Sperling so compelling to the modern public. The stark contrast between the commercialized grandeur of 2008 and the serene foliage-filled sanctuary of All Saints' Church this weekend marks a conscious evolution in how the younger generation of the family manages the delicate balance between public duty and private joy. Harriet's own journey to this point provides a profound emotional anchor to the entire narrative, offering an inspiring story of personal resilience that resonates deeply with ordinary citizens. Long before her relationship with Peter began, Harriet navigated the immense challenges of being a single mother, raising her daughter Georgina for a decade with minimal external support. She has spoken with remarkable candor about those early years, describing a time when material resources were incredibly scarce, the path forward felt entirely uncertain, and the future looked dauntingly unpredictable. In a world often dominated by inherited privilege, Harriet's background stands out as a testament to genuine hard work, emotional fortitude, and a reliance on deep personal values. Central to Harriet's ability to weather those difficult years was her profound embrace of her faith. While she grew up with spiritual roots, she's openly admitted that her beliefs remained largely dormant during her early adult years while living and working in London, appearing somewhat disconnected from the fast-paced realities of daily life. However, the emotional pain of a collapsing 7-year relationship became a definitive turning point for her. Feeling a deep sense of emptiness, she returned to the church, discovering an enduring source of strength that would sustain her through the demanding journey of solo parenting. In her writings for specialized publications like the Christian magazine Woman Alive, she beautifully described how the absolute absence of material security allowed her to discover the true power of selfless love, a love entirely devoted to the well-being of her young child. She frequently likened their isolated life to a small, self-contained island, making it difficult to ever imagine anyone else successfully joining that private world. Her story is one of transformation, illustrating how personal hardships can ultimately cultivate the grace, maturity, and emotional readiness required to step into a highly complex, globally visible family structure. The inclusion of Harriet's daughter, Georgina, who is now 13, and Peter's own daughters, 15-year-old Savannah and 13-year-old Isla, adds a beautiful, blended family dynamic to this weekend's festivities. This gathering represents a joyful convergence of separate lives into a unified, supportive whole set against the familiar landscapes of their childhood. The presence of Zara and Mike Tyndall, who remain exceptionally close to Peter, further reinforces this sense of a tight-knit family unit providing a protective shield of privacy around the newlyweds. By choosing the quiet beauty of the Cotswolds and hosting the reception at Gatcombe Park, the family is actively prioritizing authentic human connection over public spectacle. This deliberate shift away from major media deals and toward understated elegance shows a profound understanding of modern sensibilities, ensuring that the focus remains entirely on the commitment being made between two mature individuals who have earned their happiness through experience and perseverance. As the final preparations conclude and the guests begin to arrive at the historic Gloucestershire sanctuary, the deeper meaning of this wedding becomes perfectly clear. It is a powerful reminder that behind the grand titles, historic estates, and intense global media attention, the core of the institution rests upon the strength of its personal relationships. The journey from the widely criticized public controversy of 19 years ago to the quiet, dignified, and deeply personal celebration of this weekend marks a successful adaptation to a changing world. By embracing a partner whose life has been shaped by real-world service within the healthcare sector and an unwavering dedication to family values, Peter Phillips is embarking on a chapter that feels genuinely authentic, deeply respectful of tradition, and beautifully aligned with a modern approach to life. The understated foliage, the historic stone walls of All Saints' Church, and the warmth of their closest relatives all combine to create a timeless moment of genuine celebration, proving that true elegance lies not in grand spectacles, but in the quiet, enduring strength of love, faith, and family unity.